this video, we're going to be taking a look at these flight stands I recently got off of Hasbro Pulse. Something I've been wanting to get in the collection for a little while now, just haven't got around to it. But recently I was placing a large order on Hasbro Pulse, and I said, well, time is finally here for me to experiment with these and add a package of them to the collection. I'm glad I did. They turned out really nice. They come in packs of 3, and they are 15 USD. And they just come in this generic bag here. They're not specifically for Star Wars. You can use them for G.I. Joe, Transformers, of course, any Star Wars action figure you want. You name it. It's just a generic Hasbro item. And as you can see, it can accommodate both 3 3/4 inch and 6-inch action figures. And so far I haven't had any problems with them, really. Like Pre-Vizsla here, the Black Series one. It's kind of a heavy action figure, and he's been in that position for a week now, and I haven't had any problems with him falling over. The stand here hasn't been bowing over or anything like that. So they are pretty durable. Now you have to be smart about how you set these up. Obviously, wherever the weight is, you want to put the stand in the furthest point away. Even Jango Fett here, I've already experimented. If I did move the stand there to the very front, or I rotated this all the way around, he would topple over, even being a 3 3/4 inch action figure. So just something to be mindful of. Yeah, he won't stay like that. And I'll probably use these mostly for Mandalorian action figures, but you can use them for Jedi or Sith or even clones. I will experiment with a few others here in a few minutes. See how they look with like Starkiller, for instance. This is the Black Series Bo-Katan. Haven't done the review of her on the channel yet. I hope to get around to that soon. Figure this is a good chance to try and show her off. These stands actually work a whole lot better for her than, let's say, Jango Fett, for instance. And that's because just the shape of her jetpack there. That is one thing with a lot of these Mandalorian action figures is, so the latch here is mostly meant to go around the waist. There are other ways you can work around it. You can try to wrap it around their legs, or even on the jetpack itself, like how I did with Jango Fett here. But it can be kind of tricky to get. And with Jango Fett, it took me a few minutes to try and get him in that position, and even then it's not the most sturdy. If you start messing with him, he'll pop off the jetpack no problem. Plus it puts a little bit of pressure, especially with like these jet propulsions here. It's putting a little bit of a squeeze on that, and over time that may make them brittle or much more weaker, and then they could fall off. So something to be wary of. So far I haven't had any problems so much with this. I probably won't be leaving him in this position forever. And Pre-Vizsla, his jetpack actually works perfect for this because the propulsion's there just wide enough to where it can be on the sides of the latch there. But even then, it's not, the latch is not totally around his waist. It's just slightly below it. So like I showed a little bit earlier, you can rotate these around, and also you can raise or lower them. You can either have them totally sky high, or all the way down here at the bottom. And each articulated point is kind of ratchety, which is nice. Gives it a little bit more sturdiness about it. And you can rotate these latches around side to side. You can either have them all the way straight up, you can have them flying at an angle like this, or you can even do all the way upside down. And I haven't had any problems with any position. Kind of like Bo-Katan at an angle like that. Let's say Hasbro Pulse at the bottom of the stand here. These pegs as well. Probably could fit a few different action figures on here. If you have Koshka Reeves and the Axe Wolves, for instance, you could probably put them on the sides of here. I think we'll go ahead and take Jango Fett off here. We'll experiment with a few of the other action figures. And this latch always does pop back into place. It's pretty sturdy. Can expand all the way out to about that far. Wonder if a character like Paz Vizsla would fit on these. So try with Star Killer here first. It's very nice. You can have a character all the way down here even. Like he's about ready to go in for the strike. We'll try this aerial clone here. So this is an example of one where it probably will fit better around the jetpack instead of the waist, just because of how much space is being taken up here. But this guy, it actually works just fine if you can wrap his leg around that. And then the missiles you can wedge on the outside there. Let's see here. Can take you a little bit to get it. Probably about the best I can do. And that is one thing I do wish about these stands, is that you could put them at more of an angle. Oftentimes when we see characters that jet off with a jetpack, oftentimes they go off at an angle instead of straight up. You can work with it a little bit. And last but not least, do the Black Series Luke Skywalker here. And he looks pretty good as well. Kind of like Luke is giving into his anger there. And if you're good with angling your action figures, you could have the 3 3/4 inch and 6 inch figures kind of working together. They almost don't look too far away in scale to one another. Kind of like what people do with the microships. They pull them off in a distance. And just to give you a quick example of how you take a character with a jetpack and put this on here. Oops. Kind of best to do it like this. And especially with Jango, he has those jet propulsions there, which make it even harder. Let's see. Do something like that. Just have to toy with it a little bit. You can see he's not the most stable on there, but he should stay in place. But that's pretty much all I can show you with these flight stands. Just something to add a little more spice to the collection. I'm glad I got them. I might get a few more down the line. It would be nice to do a display with all the Mandalorians taken off, or all the aerial clones. I would like to get the Battlefront 2 Jet Trooper at some point, the original Battlefront 2 from the Clone Pack, and get a bunch of those and then do a display with these. And there are different scales out there. There are some people on eBay that make their own, and they're either more for 3 3/4 inch or 6 inch or whatever. But these stands here from Hasbro are more universal. And there are other stands as well for like Jedi Starfighters and TIE Fighters and X-Wings. I do hope to get a few of those here soon, especially for like the Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and I do have one for Luke's X-Wing, but I have to put it together still. So that'll probably be here soon. And then of course all the like Anakin Starfighter and Obi-Wan Starfighter. I'd like to get a stand for those. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these. I'm very happy to finally add them to the collection after all this time. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you have not done so already. As always, thanks for watching.